The Helmsman line is a pretty cool evolution line conceptually. There's a head and a body, and they fuse together to become a mighty warrior. Then Corpton just exists. He's one of those recolors that has no relation to the original family. His colours are cool though, so I don't mind too much. How do they do in competitive though? Let's find out. Let's start with Helmsman. Looking at his stats, they're not great, but they're fine. Awful speed, spirit and HP, with pretty good strength and defense. He and the rest of the line have a unique skill in Spirit Guard, that makes him immune to their weak element. This isn't useful for Helmsman since he's weak to Earth, and you don't really see much of it in competitive outside of gimmicky miss tank teams. He usually runs a shielding soul anyway, since he can take physical damage decently well. The added Earth immunity is just a nice bonus. He can work as a decent defensive tank because of his above average strength stat, even though his attack isn't great. His moveset isn't great in general actually. His Spirit and Soul are both defense boosts, which aren't that useful. I suppose you could use him, but there are much better choices than Helmsman. Armisen is a bit more interesting. His defense is great and his HP is decent, but the rest of his stats are pretty bad. He doesn't really need them though, as he's more of a dedicated tank than an offensive tank like Helmsman and the rest of the line. He isn't really as good until you look at his weakness, as I mentioned before, they are immune to their weak element while guarding. Armisen is weak to fire, and the best yokai in the game just so happens to be fire element. You know him, you probably don't like him, it's Solar Enma. Armisen can not only take hits and incinerates for free, but he can also take the hazard since that does fire attribute damage. Outside of this one specific niche though, he isn't really too useful and I wouldn't recommend using him over better tanks. If you want a solar counter tank, just use Swelton. He has 2 slots so he can use shielding and blowing his Tapa Soul, so he can take magic damage especially well. You could also use other magic tanks like Krunger, Janisekwa or Walden, and they'll work just as well. You could even use Bishaman 10 since while he is S rank, he has good stats and also takes fire element for free. He takes it even better than Armisen because it actually boosts his strength so he can have even better damage output. He has worse defense than Armisen, but that won't matter much in the grand scheme of things. Armisen defense is unusually high and Bishaman still has really good defense. Overall, I just don't see why you'd want to use Armisen over the options I presented here. So what happens when you reunite these 2 lost souls? You get the creatively named Reunite. Reunite stats are amazing for an A rank. He has really held up since Yokai Watch 1. His strength is one of the highest in the game and his HP and defense are also great. Not the best speed in the world, but we can look past that. Spirit Guard for Earth is niche as always, however there is a kinda gimmicky way to make this great I haven't mentioned yet. You see, Lightning Element has the best magic attackers in the game, with the likes of Signeton, Static King, Hinowoken, Comistar and more. Since Reunite resists lightning, we compare him with Mython and now he can be immune to the best attacking element, something very few other yokai can say. This means, like with every yokai in the line, he almost exclusively runs Shielding Soul to make the most out of this skill. His attack, Stab Storm, means the yokai can trap life or spirit orb when attacked, even if they aren't low figure and spirited. This is pretty good, as these pickups are nice support. Maybe getting extra soul meter charge on your lion, maybe healing your Reunite back a bit. It's nice to have without worrying about other prerequisites. I'm usually an advocate for yokai recolors being vastly different and unique to their other forms, but Corpton is one of those yokai that's literally just a stronger version of their original counterpart. So, Violets, you're right in some aspect. Most of them are still pretty different though. Corpton is just better than Reunite stat-wise. Everything is the same. Almost. His Spirit Guide triggers on water and he resists fire, so you can Mython it up again and then you have an even better Solar Enma counter than Armsman, who can actually do some serious damage. Mython is great. There really isn't anything else to talk about with this line though. Corpton and Reunite are generally amazing bulky attackers, Armsman is a gimmicky Solar Enma counter, and Helmsman is a waste of a team slot. What do you think of this line? Are you one of the real ones that befriended Helmsman and Armsman immediately after getting D rank in Yokai Watch 1 and 2? Let me know in the comments and have a good day.